Good morning, and welcome to day one of the van build. We're going from FedEx truck to tiny home in 60 days. Let's get started.
All right, welcome to the captain's chair. Now, before I begin tearing this thing apart, I wanted to give you a little background on where I bought this thing and why. As you may know, I've affectionately named the van Jean-Claude because Van Damme. Now, Jean-Claude is a 2005 Dodge Sprinter van, 2500. Got the high roof and the extended body. It's about 6'2" on the inside and about 13 feet of space in the cargo bay. And I bought it with 250,000 miles on it. Now, I know that's high mileage, but it's built with a Mercedes engine and transmission, so it should last for 500,000 easy. Within a week of deciding to do van life, I found Jean-Claude online, and before I knew it, I was driving to LA, traded my car, and drove back in this bad boy. So, shout out to LA Truck Guy for making the process super simple. Check him out. Jean-Claude is a former FedEx truck, so that means no frills, no AC, no windows. It is a work truck for sure. But one of the big perks that comes with that is this metal bulkhead right here. I really like it because at night I can shut the bulkhead, shut the sliding door, and it gets very dark and secure in the back. So keeping it stealthy is definitely a key to design. I bought the truck in LA, and the first time driving it actually was in rush hour, wall-to-wall traffic in this big-ass van, but it wasn't too bad. I got through unscathed, only honked at once or twice. I did have a 6-hour drive with no radio and no AC, so you're gonna have to solve those problems. I will dig into why I'm doing van life in a later video, but in terms of the design layout, I really had to think about how I'm going to use the space and where I'm planning to go to figure out how I want to configure my new home. I'm going to be spending some time in Maine this March because I'm going to be an uncle. I'm really planning on preparing for cold weather life. I'd rather make sure I can stay warm than be cool right now. I need to put a lot of insulation on there so when I get my heater up and running, I can make it through those cold winter nights. I am going to be living in the van full time. I am living that Planet Fitness black card life, so that's where I plan to do all my showering. So I'm gonna skip putting a shower and bathroom on board. While I definitely have space with the extended body to put in a combo shower bathroom, it really adds a lot of complexity to the build. And my biggest concern, besides all the extra work that's going to go into installing those systems, is carrying all that water when I'm up north on the winter. I really don't want to freeze my pipes. I'm pretty worried about that right now. So I think for version 1 of the van, I'm going to skip the shower in the bathroom. Now, living in the van day to day, I want to be able to do 3 things pretty easily: sleep, cook, and work. I also know myself, and I don't want to be converting a bed or converting a kitchen at the end of the day. So I'm really leaning towards a fixed bed design, so we can have a garage underneath. The back half of the van is really going to be a queen size bed, framed out nice with a garage in the back. And then I'm going to have a galley that'll have cabinets for clothes and all my crap, plus a kitchen sink. On the other side, I'm going to build a couch that has a swivel table that's going to allow me to eat and work. And inside the couch, I'm going to place a refrigerator on tracks. Also going to put a couple of solar panels on the roof, build a cubby for my house battery. With the electrical system, I want to keep it as simple as possible, so I'll get into that later on in the build. So besides that, I have a few aesthetic decisions to make to see what the inside of the van is going to look like. I haven't really decided on that, but I have a general plan for the build. My first task is ripping out these shelves, cleaning out 15 years of filth, and putting on a nice coat of paint. So, burn enough daylight, time to get to work. Well, that was not successful. Seems the bolts on the bottom are anchored into the sheet metal. I think I gotta go to Home Depot and buy something to cut these bolts off, because this is not working. As you can see, my favorite tool, the hammer, did not quite get the job done. I'm gonna go cut some bolts. I got the Dremel. Success! It only took me about 20 minutes and 3 of the discs, but as you can see, cut that baby off. Alright, now I have about 10 more to go. I'll be able to get these shelves off. Sweet! Got one more shelf to go, 2 more bolts, then rip the floor out. We can start soundproofing and insulating. We'll do a little time lapse here, check out the work. We're back again, another day working on the van. I've got it pretty much stripped and cleaned, all the stickers taken off. Give it a good rub down, get 15 years of grease all out of the panels. Figure John Claude at least deserves that. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Let's get to it. Thanks for checking out the first few days of the build. I'm feeling a lot better now that it's stripped, cleaned, and painted. Join me next time. I'm going to be tackling the insulation. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Also, follow me on Instagram at joey.tuna. Until next time, signing off.